Is high school stressful for you?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Very.
Imagine starting off the year looking so happy and stress-free, then something just changes you because you're just stressed with the crazy amount of assignments, homework, and projects you get from your classes. You're isolated because you feel alone, that you can't tell anyone that you're drowning in work, and that gives you anxiety. I was a victim of this. Or you? This is the documentary of Surviving YM.
What have you had to give up in order to maintain good grades?
Free time.
Volleyball.
I'm quitting dance next year.
Money, school, my friends, everything.
A good sleep schedule.
What do you think is a good grade?
Probably like something that my parents would not yell at me for.
Like what?
90 to 100.
Over a 90.
85.
A pass.
At least low 90s.
What specific part about school stresses you out?
Probably legit everything. Either it's from like grades to probably like getting things on time.
Tests.
Homework and projects. Yeah.
Everything.
Evaluations, sometimes presentations when I gotta present my project to the class.
Have you ever been overwhelmed with the amount of work that you've had?
Probably around exam season and every day, really.
Yes.
All the time.
All the time, every day, 24/7.
Yes.
Do you think the workload has increased or decreased over time, like generation-wise?
Probably like in the 50s, you can like get a degree by just like getting out of high school. So probably yeah.
That
Increased a
Yeah,
lot.
it's increased.
Our workload is so much more higher than it was in the past. Like over the years, they just keep adding that up, like papers on papers.
I think it stayed the same. I'm not too sure.
How has school affected your social life outside of school?
Imagine trying to get out like during exam season, trying to get anywhere, like go, like trying to get bubble tea, even that can just like drop a couple percent.
Less time to do like things I want to do, like hanging out with friends, because I have that project tomorrow I gotta work on.
What social life? Like, I'm kidding. School is like really impacted it. Like I don't know. It's just really hard to balance between social life and school.
If I have a project or a test coming up, I won't go out with friends.
We have only interviewed a few students, but there are many more who feel this way about the workload and the stress. There are statistics saying that stress, anxiety, and mental illness rates in high school have skyrocketed. For example, a third of Ontario high school students were found to have moderate to severe symptoms of psychological distress. This says a lot about the stress high school students are under, as it shouldn't happen at such a young age. Another fact that was found was that the average high school student has the same level of anxiety as a psychiatric patient in the early 1950s. This overloading of work affects students' social skills, and studies say that students are getting more homework than ever before. And this is just in reference to a student's school workload. A student could have extracurriculars outside or inside of school as well. This is not healthy for kids because homework that is given over the recommended level is not only detrimental to students' grades, but it's also detrimental to their attitude about school, their self-confidence, their social skills, and their quality of life. The impact of excessive homework on students includes high stress levels, a lack of balance in students' lives, and physical health problems such as ulcers, migraines, sleep deprivation, and weight loss. Here's what teachers and former YM graduates have to say about their high school experience.
What year did you graduate high school?
I graduated from York Mills in 2012.
I graduated in 1989.
Was high school stressful for you?
I would say it was stressful, but in different ways. It wasn't one way that was kind of felt by students at the time, or students at the time.
Was high school stressful for me? For the most part, no. It was really different back then. Since we had OAC, which was grade 13, I could spread out my 30 credits over more years, and by the time I was in my final year, I didn't really have that many classes. It seemed like I had more spares than classes. There were moments of stress, like with dealing with some stuff from home, but no, it was very different from today. I didn't find it that stressful.
What did you have to give up in order to maintain good grades?
I didn't really give up much because part of being in school for me was working. I was working part-time, I was also getting my courses done, so I didn't really realize what I had to give up because I was already kind of doing it since I was in junior high. So it's not, I didn't really give up anything.
No. I was very busy with sports. I was very busy with student council. I was very busy with my strange social life, and I was very busy with school. Maybe I quit piano in grade 13, that's possible, but I don't remember if it was at the end or at the beginning. No, I don't think so.
What did you think was a good grade?
For me, a good grade was never getting 80s or 90s. It was a grade that I knew I'd worked hard for, and that by working hard for that grade, even if it was maybe a 60 or a 70, it was something that I had worked at. And to me, the effort of putting that in, that was where I saw it as being a good grade.
I considered anything over 80 to be a good mark.
Yeah. What specific part about school stressed you out?
Like before, I ended up saying that part of school for me was different than maybe your average student, and part of that stress was being the openly gay kid and trying to fit into an environment that otherwise wasn't so accepting. I mean, it's very accepting today, which I'm happy to see and to hear, especially being an old student coming back here as a teacher now. It means a lot. So it was kind of trying to figure out how to navigate a social system that maybe wasn't the most supportive.
For the most part, I did always find English very difficult. I'm very literate and I like to read, but I found that I often disagreed with the English teacher on my interpretation of the books. So that did stress me out, because I'm kind of an outspoken person. So we did have some knockdown battles a few times with certain maybe more old school teachers about why do you have to see it that way.
Did you think that the workload has increased or decreased over time, generational-wise?
I would say that it's probably increased. The expectations on students is different, especially the standards. I mean, as we get older and older, as the years start to pass, expectations of current students is starting to increase to meet the expectations of previous students.
It's different. I don't know if the workload is different, probably more workload now, but the main difference is the structure. There's a lot of structure now. There's rubrics, there's written instructions, there's due dates. We used to get, okay, write a 10-page essay and it's due in like a month. And there was nothing in between.
So, how did school affect your social life outside of school?
I would say that it came through the fact that being in an environment where the support wasn't quite there socially, it caused me to be a little bit more defensive on the outside of school. So less academics, more so in the social aspect. But again, it was something that quickly changed as soon as I entered an environment, because I went to university that was very queer friendly. It kind of created more of an accepting environment for me to kind of just put my guard down a bit more.
Well, when I came in grade 10, you know, like most people, you come in with the people that you went to junior high with, or now middle school. Just over the years, you have different interests and you're not necessarily friendly with them anymore. And I guess I became more of a loner, you would say. I mean, I knew lots of people and interacted with lots of people because I did a lot of things, but I didn't really care to hang out with anybody, except, as I said, I got this boyfriend in grade 13, and that was like, I became a one-person person.
Yeah. Overall, what we've seen is the trend of the older generations having less stress, being able to focus more on athletics and their own kind of social lives, as opposed to what we have now, which is not being able to have much of a social life outside of school, which is more important now than it was then, because the entire school community was kind of their social life. But now, with technology and social media and your social life expanding outside of your own school, the other schools in the neighborhoods, depending on how far you live, there's less time for students to do that because the coursework has become more stressful and there's more focus on academics than there was before.
And as for people who are in older generations, they had a grade 13 and they could spread out their 30 credits like easily. And like how Miss Glusson said, she had more spares in classes and she had a great time other than maybe some issues at home, but nothing at school.
Also, I guess I noticed was that people actually had the chance to balance their lives when they were in high school a few years ago as opposed to now. Like over here, we really need to have the same focus on our school. Actually, we have to have much more importance with school than we do on our extracurriculars. And before, I guess it just wasn't that important.
And today, we when we interviewed the teachers, they didn't really talk about like missing sleep, missing meals, kind of having to give up other things, except for Ms. Gluskin said piano lessons. We haven't had the experience that they have of being able to do everything that we want to do because there's so much more that we have to do today. So overall, what we've seen is the trend of schoolwork increasing, pressure increasing, anxiety increasing, and if something doesn't change in the school system soon, maybe not just York Mills and maybe it's all other schools too, but from this sample that we've seen of students at York Mills, there's a lot of stress going around. And people kind of at the end of grade 12 are actually just starting to give up. So something has to change.